The views and opinions expressed on any program are those of the persons appearing on the program and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of the New Media Factory. Some programs on this network might include strong images and language and may not be suitable for all audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
Good evening and welcome to the premiere episode of the Kapabrika Network's weekly news show, where we round up the most important news that happened over the week.
Important news both in the Philippines and around the world, including those bits of information, or shall I say misinformation, that have gotten the ire of netizens.
As your friendly neighborhood news aggregator, we are here to reiterate, deliver,
and at times debunk.
My name is Kenneth Kong.
And my name is Harmony Fernandez, and here are the headlines.
Youth groups call for a blackout protest against the Meralco power rate hikes on Tuesday, January 21st.
A Mexican drug cartel is now operating in the Philippines. Shabu labs have been discovered and raided.
China's aggression towards the Philippines escalates.
The Martillo gang is becoming more brazen, attacking motorists in broad daylight.
Mobile devices and the noise pollution generated by these devices are hazardous to one's health and to the environment.
In our entertainment segment, Cristel Diaz reports on the benefits of celebrity celibacy.
And our resident meteorologist, Charlie Londrino, gives us a heads up on the weather in her weekly forecast. A blackout protest against Meralco's power rate hike is called for by youth groups Kilusang Mayo Uno, Bayan, and Anak Bayan. Tomorrow morning, January 21st, a rally will be held in front of Supreme Court to coincide with the scheduled hearing on the temporary restraining order it issued against Meralco. According to reliable news source Bulatlat.com, the temporary restraining order issued by the Supreme Court against Meralco last December 23rd is valid only for 60 days, and activists are calling on the citizens to act before the TRO expires. KMU and Anak Bayan are also calling for consumers to turn off their lights at 7 p.m. tomorrow night to simulate a brownout, the kind of brownout that Meralco has threatened the nation with in the event that their power rate hike is not granted. I'm sorry, I thought I paid. This is.
You were supposed to.
What do you mean? The letter very clearly said I don't need to pay this month.
Only for December.
What?
But we need to pay. It's January.
Wait, we need to. Junjun, abot lang yung pera. Kano yung provision? 20 ba? 50? 500? Sige. Lahat na lang. Sorry.
You're so irresponsible.
I apologize for my negligence, dear viewers, but sometimes one cannot help but give in to pressure from the powers that be.
Yes, and I'd just like to take this time to remind our viewers that it's very important to pay your bills on time. Electricity bills are like taxes. You must pay them.
Yes, and of course, it is also so that you can afford to turn off your lights tomorrow.
That's right, because it won't be a protest if it just turns on automatically. You have to have the conscious decision to, turn off the lights. And speaking of dark places, the Philippine National Police and the National Bureau of Investigation continue to uncover secret drug laboratories around the country, many of which are owned and operated by members of the Sinaloa drug cartel of Mexico. According to Inquirer.net, 84 kilos of shabu were seized during a police raid in a cock farm in Lipa City, Batangas, last December 25, Christmas Day of 2013.
You said cock.
The suspects who were caught in that raid were allegedly storing drugs for the Sinaloa cartel. Incidentally, that same cock farm is alleged to be the property of recently paroled former governor of Batangas, Tony Leviste, and if investigations prove that he is in fact the owner of the farm and that he had knowledge of the operations of the drug laboratory, his parole may be revoked. To quote their report, the Sinaloa cartel, believed to be operating in 50 countries, is the largest source of illegal drugs going to the United States. It is headed by Mexico's most wanted man, Joaquin El Chapo, or Shorty Guzman, who has been on the run with a $5 million reward on his head since he escaped from a Mexican prison in 2001. Members of members of the cartel are also reported to be involved in bribery, kidnapping, and gun-for-hire operations.
I need drugs to function. How about you, Harmony?
I am concerned for the cocks in the cock farm who are now being, victimized by the drug operations. I mean,
would you say that this is a large problem?
I think so.
Would you say that then this is a large cock farm problem?
Very much so. Nobody ever thinks about this, but I think we should draw more attention to this kind of issue. Environmental impact of drug operations in cock farms.
Indeed. We will take a short break. When we come back, we will talk about the so-called Martillo gang and how you can avoid being a victim.
As well as the escalation of China's aggression towards the Philippines.
Hi. They say nothing in this world is free, and for the most part, that's true. But here at NMF Network, all shows are indeed 100% free. And as an added feature, you have the option to subscribe to all your favorite programs, also at no charge. Why should you subscribe? By subscribing, you no longer have the hassle of delays when you stream the program. You also don't need to keep checking our site to see if your favorite programs are up because they'll automatically be uploaded to your device as soon as it's available. Here's how to do it. For those people with Apple mobile devices, first you need to download the podcast app. Once you download the podcast app, open it, and you should be taken to the featured page. Now, you look for the store button. Hit the store button, and after doing that, hit the search button. Put your cursor on it and type New Media Factory. All our shows should automatically appear. Pick your favorite or favorites, open it, and hit subscribe. And that's it, you're done. Congratulations and welcome to the New Media Factory family.
Then the maid got jaundice. Jaundice is different from jaundice. Jaundice is buntis, like that. But she does not... Tears up! Tears up! Anyway, jaundice does not know... This is professional show. I will put the merienda here. So, jaundice. And I'm now happy to present to you Territorial. Halika dito, te! Tabi tayo! Gusto mo ng snacks? Ano ba to? Ganyan ba yan? Tapos?
Ang puti, mama.
Ay, tapos. Dito ba? Pwede ba dyan?
Pwede. Concealer. Yan, para sa show mo, ha? Oh.
Aray ko, amayaya ba? Pwede ba itong ano? Zora, pang ano ba to? Oil absorbing? Pwede ba itong pang nose line?
Tita Kay, may caution.
Caution! Caution! Basta ng glamour, te!
When used for the first 2 weeks, more pimples will appear. Burahin na sila.
Oh my God!
Sorry, ma. Ito talaga?
Hindi, bago yan. Don't worry.
Buti ako sa mata lang. Hindi naman nagkakapin. Dapat pala caution mo na yung pinasa natin.
Join your host Carrots Nazareno on Live Love Lols every Thursday, 7:30 to 8:30, only here on The Factory.
Versus China. Will it ever end? Is there a silver lining? The long-standing territorial dispute between China and the Philippines regarding sovereignty over the West Philippine Sea is reportedly escalating, especially after American Vice President Joe Biden toured the Asia-Pacific region last December. The Philippines filed a diplomatic case against China in the United Nations High Tribunal, and a hearing is scheduled for March 2014. However, China has ignored the invitation of both the Philippines and its sugar daddy, the United States, after it totally disregarded the invitation of the Philippines and the United States to attend the hearing, and China has pulled out of any discussions for this matter.
It's always awkward when someone pulls out. The West Philippine Sea is reportedly rich in oil, though it remains untapped. And the People's Republic of China claims the entire West Philippine Sea as part of its territory. Aside from that, they also claim large portions of Japan's coastline, and the two countries have been saber-rattling more frantically this time. Chinese and Japanese warplanes and warships conducting missile tests, reconnaissance maneuvers, and all sorts of fun military exercises are leaving the might of the Philippine Coast Guard and Navy largely ignored. Now, the Philippine Coast Guard and Navy deserves to be recognized for their efforts in beefing up their fleet of both rubber boats and all-weather high-endurance cutters to protect our territorial waters. In fact, Harmony, do you know the difference between a helicopter destroyer and an aircraft carrier?
Yeah.
Exactly. It is purely semantic. The Japanese are building a fleet of so-called helicopter destroyers, which are in truth aircraft carriers, making it the most powerful naval force in the Pacific since World War II, not including the U.S. 7th Fleet. Now, matching against this, the Philippines has purchased 2 new Hamilton-class cutters, which we have upgraded into missile frigates, which we will be using to patrol our own territory. This, in addition to 2 brand new frigates modeled after the Maestrale anti-submarine, anti-aircraft, and anti-surface warfare frigates. All of these new measures will indeed contribute to us being able to fend off the massive Chinese fleet.
Okay.
Harmony.
Yeah, so fighting and planes. And I'm actually also, speaking of fighting and planes and crime, I'm so excited to talk about the Martillo gang. So yeah, the Martillo gang. When they smashed the glass display cases of a jewelry store inside SM North EDSA Mall, and took off with the valuable necklaces and bracelets and gold-encrusted teeth, President Aquino gave the notorious gang of thieves a huge advertising boost by visiting the crime scene, thereby helping create a brand name for the said criminals. Today, we see them riding underbone scooters in tandem. That means the driver has an angkas behind him, where one manong rider operates the vehicle, maneuvering towards the car of their choice and swerving and speeding away after the manong making angkas makes Martillo the bintana of the coche and grabs the victim's cell phone and purse or MERS. So just take a look at the video, which was uploaded by a motorist who just happened to have a nice little Konya dashboard cam recording the whole incident. So as you can see, after the Martillo gangsters spotted the vehicles with slightly exposed valuables, it only took a matter of 2 seconds. 2 seconds, can you imagine, for them to grab the victim's possessions from the moment they saw him and spotted him. And, you know, he was just inside. He wanted to make palamig inside his car, use the aircon, and suddenly, boom, 2 seconds later, everything was gone. He had no time to react.
Two people, Harmony, and you're saying they managed to finish in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
It's always a problem when the men are too fast to finish. Harmony, can this happen to any one of us, or is it a matter of carelessness on the part of the automobile owner to have his items visible to the magnanakaws?
Well, I guess it's a matter of carelessness on one part, but it's also, you know, maybe desperation. People are so desperate, they just, you know, make Martillo a coche if they see stuff in it. So I guess people just have to be careful, or, you know, tint your cars.
Indeed, it is more important that we punish all of these criminal behaviors as opposed to solving the inherent socioeconomic problems that have led to these behaviors in the first place. Being purely reactionary is not only easier, it's more satisfying.
Exactly. And, you know, more money for car tinter companies.
Support local industry.
So we'll just take a short break, and after the break, we'll let you know about the benefits of celebrity celibacy and take a look at the weather.
Say nothing in this world is free, and for the most part, that's true. But here at NMF Network, all shows are indeed 100% free. And as an added feature, you have the option to subscribe to all your favorite programs, also at no charge. Why should you subscribe? By subscribing, you no longer have the hassle of delays when you stream the program. You also don't need to keep checking our site to see if your favorite programs are up because they'll automatically be uploaded to your device as soon as it's available. Here's how to do it. For those people with Apple mobile devices, first you need to download the podcast app. Once you download the podcast app, open it and you should be taken to the featured page. Now, you look for the store button. Hit the store button, and after doing that, hit the search button. Put your cursor on it and type New Media Factory. All our shows should automatically appear. Pick your favorite or favorites, open it, and hit subscribe. And that's it, you're done. Congratulations and welcome to the New Media Factory family.
Welcome back, mga kapaprika. You're watching the NMF Weekly News Show. Chal, what do we have for the week ahead?
Thank you very much, Kenneth, for our weather news. Now, as they say, the best way to know the weather is to look up to the sky. Now, ano bang nakikita natin sa sky? Simulan natin sa cumulonimbus. I'm sure you've actually been noticing these types of clouds kung saan medyo fluffy ang clouds at gray. Ano ba ang fluffy clouds? Para siyang cotton candy. Pero dirty cotton candy ito dahil pag sinabing dirty cotton candy, gray clouds ito. And this one actually indicates that there's a thunderstorm coming. So as cute as they seem to be, they actually have storm indicators in them. Now, aside from that, I'd also like to point out cirrus clouds. Ano ba tong cirrus clouds na ito? Medyo wispy thin clouds siya, but don't you worry because they actually indicate that the weather will be very fair as well. Similar to what you just saw nung lunar halo. Medyo wispy yung clouds sa side. Now, moving on, something that we all like, I'm sure you've been experiencing the wind chill factor over here. Yes, ang buong Pilipinas actually ang naka-experience niyan. Now, what is this wind chill factor? It's actually quite related to the polar vortex that we've been experiencing. Now, ano ba tong polar vortex na ito? Well, being that the polar is on the north side, ang North Pole, at ang London ay nasa taas rin, at medyo malapit-lapit sila sa isa't isa, yan po ang London chill na tinatawag. So, they're somewhat related with each other also. Now, to those people, banda po tayo dito sa baba, no? Kung saan a lot of people during May 1 are quite worried, naku, Labor Day, kailangan na pumarty, kailangan gumimik, kailangan pumuntang Boracay, paano yan? Malamig. Well, don't you worry because we will not be affected by this chill that we've been experiencing. Sunny pa rin ang Boracay, but don't quote me on that. And last but not the least, I'd like to talk about this chill that we've been experiencing is also brought to you by Taiwan. Yes, Taiwan has actually been experiencing this weather as well. Taiwan medyo located siya sa taas ng Pilipinas, lampas ng Batanes. This is a typical weather for them. Naku, ang Taiwan na yan, when you actually go there, you get to experience wonderful food, street food, shouts ang tawag dyan, where they actually get to buy a lot of types of food, like tofu, yung mabahong tofu na po yan, and meron din pong yung, my God, yung Chinese sausage. This one actually can be bought for sa street mismo ng Simanding or ng Shilin, and it only costs you around 20 NT. For $198, you could actually fly already to Taipei, round trip na po yan. And pagkapag Pilipino po kayo, just add 1,620 dahil Philippine travel tax. So there you have it, our very credible weather news brought to you by Charlie Londrino.
Some people need to be more celibate than others. In fact, recently, certain celebrities have found sexual abstinence quite beneficial to the nation. Crystal Diaz tells us more.
How long can you hold your breath? How long can you hold your bladder? How long can you keep from eating? How long can you hold your sexual urge? For most of us normal human beings, suppressing our appetite will surely drive us insane. But for some with great resolve, fully conscientious of achieving the common good, celibacy is heroic. Chris Aquino is a hero of the Philippines. She has abstained from any sexual activity over the last 12 months. She knows her priorities. In fact, my friend Kel Fabi published a list of 8 amazing things that have happened since Chris Aquino stopped having sex. If you would look at Yahoo News and the 8 list, you will see this list. He mentions that Adam West's 1960s Batman series is now available on video. Also, since Chris Aquino stopped having sex, Rios was beaten by Pacquiao. Also, in this list, he mentions that Snapchat explodes into the consciousness of all apps worldwide after declining an offer of $3 billion from Mark Zuckerberg. And, coincidentally, the co-founder of Snapchat is Filipino. there are actually a lot of things that Chris Aquino has taught me because she's a very disciplined individual for not having sex for over 12 months. In fact, I remember her discipline and I remember her acts of cleanliness when I watch Enrique Hill and Sian Lim go to the gym, Gold's Gym. They wear wife beaters and do their pull-ups with one hand. And I do remember Chris Aquino because I remember that she's a very clean person, and so I try to go to the restroom all the time and wash my hands and stop myself from thinking of Enrique Hill's bicep on my face. His bicep on my face. And he actually looked at me one time in the gym. And when he looked at me, na-GG talaga ako. I felt like I was under the spell of some necromancer and I couldn't do anything about it. It reminds me of that one time where I went to Eastwood to go to the tattoo parlor of my friend. And I asked the tattoo artist to please give me a tattoo of a heart on my hip. But I did not want anything permanent on my body, no. That's not clean. I just wanted to feel the needle on my epidermis, piercing my skin, the blood rushing out, nothing permanent. But the most important lesson that we can take home from all of this is that Chris Aquino exercises discipline. She leads by example, showing our nation that cleanliness is truly next to godliness.
Say nothing in this world is free. For the most part, that's true. But here at NMF Network, all shows are indeed 100%.
His bicep on
And as
my
an added
face.
feature, you have the option to subscribe all your
Bicep
favorite
on my
programs,
face.
also at no charge. Why should you subscribe? By subscribing, you no longer have the hassle of delays when you stream the program.
Tatanggalin na.
You also don't even need to wait
Wala na ata.
favorite programs are up, because they'll automatically be uploaded to your device as soon as it's available. Here's how to do it. For those people with Apple mobile devices, first you need to download the podcast app. Once you download the podcast app, open it. You should be taken to the featured page. Now, you look for the store button. Hit the store button, and after doing that, hit the search button. Put your cursor on it and type New Media Factory. All our shows should automatically appear. Pick your favorite or favorites. Open it and hit subscribe. And that's it. You're done. Congratulations and welcome to the New Media Factory family.
What you've been missing on The Factory.
Were you the one who posted, James, regarding the guidelines when it comes to checkpoints?
Yes, I was.
That's fantastic.
Yes, I just made it up, but you know, I thought it was this time of year, right? Elections. You know, you never let the truth get in the way of a good story. Okay, children, do not follow this at home. I'm just kidding. Just so you know your rights. If you do get stopped by a checkpoint, you're not.
We're able to verify all of these, James.
You're not allowed to run over them. That didn't make it here. So technically. Now, number 2, upon approach, slow down. I guess that counts as not running them over. Dim headlights and turn on cabin lights. Okay.
Cabin lights.
Mm-hmm. Lock all doors of vehicles during inspection. Since lock.
They might get pissed off because you're locking.
But that's the
doors.
thing.
Okay.
This is where they get you. And this is actually, I know we're making fun of it a little bit, but this is a serious issue. We've seen some people genuinely harassed. Drugs are planted and other things, you know. A Justin Bieber CD is planted, which is even worse.
Oh,
yes,
no.
I've heard of that, you know. And there's no defense for that. There's really no defense. Yeah, it's like, but Your Honor, we found this. Throw the book at him. The CD as well.
Then after that you have to submit your cell phone and everything. Yeah. And next thing you know, you have a Justin Bieber ringtone.
Catch James Deacon and the boys on Counterflow Wednesdays 7:30 to 8:30 only here on The Factory.
Then the maid got jaundice. Jaundice is different from jaundice. Jaundice is buntis, like that. But she does not... Tears up! Tears up! Anyway, jaundice does not know... This is professional show. I will put the merienda here. So, jaundice. And I'm now happy to present to you Territorial. Halika dito, te. Tabi tayo. Gusto mo ng snacks? Ano ba to? Ganyan ba yan? Tapos?
Ang puti, mama.
Ay, tapos, dito ba pwede ba dyan?
Pwede. Concealer. Yan, para sa show mo, ha? Oh.
Aray ko, ang mayaya ba? Pwede ba itong ano? Zora, pang ano ba to? Oil absorbing? Pwede ba itong pang nose line?
Tita Kay, may caution.
Caution! Caution! Basta ng glamour, te!
When used for the first 2 weeks, more pimples will appear. Burahin na sila.
Oh my God!
Sorry, ma.
Basta ng glamour!
Ito talaga?
Hindi, bago yan. Don't worry.
Buti ako sa mata lang. Hindi naman nagkakapyo. Dapat pala caution muna yung pinasa natin.
Join your host Carrots Nazareno on Live Love Lols every Thursday, 7:30 to 8:30, only here on The Factory.
Welcome back, mga kapabrika. Tonight, we have a special guest to talk about the impact of mobile technology on social conduct. We have with us Principal Romero. He is the disciplinary chairman of the Mababang Paaralan ng Barrio Kulang-Kulang in Southern Luzon. And he is the expert of the confiscation of cell phones during class hours. Principal Romero, welcome to the NMF Weekly News Show.
Thanks for having me.
Now, with the proliferation of mobile technologies such as smartphones and tablets, computers, and what have you, what impact does this have on the youth and how they behave?
Well, for one thing, many people who own these mobile devices have no courtesy. Iniiwan nila malakas yung tunog ng ring ng tone nila, tapos hinahayaan pa nilang tumutunog habang nandun sila sa loob ng sinihan, sa restaurant, sa library, at sa classroom.
Okay. Hindi nyo ba pinapagsabihan yung mga estudyante nyo na ilagay siya sa silent mode, yung mga cellphone nila?
Well, we do have a policy in my school that cellular phone units are only allowed to be turned off during classes, and they can only turn it on during recess and lunch breaks. Pero kahit naman naka-cellular, naka-vibrate yan siya, no? Tumutunog pa rin yung vibrate mode, kahit naka-silent mode yan, isa nga nakakairita yung ganun eh. Kaya kayong dapat talaga, yung buong araw nakapatay yung cellphone na yan. Pero kasi, merong mga parents na nakikialam sa mga estudyante namin, gusto nila ng blow-by-blow impact kung ano nangyayari sa mga estudyante namin. Kaya gusto nila nag-update kaagad yung mga anak nila. Kaya tuloy yung mga bagets, ayaw tuloy nilang patayin ang cellphone.
What about putting them on silent mode?
Ayun na nga, kahit naka-silent mo, nagpa-vibrate naman, ganun. At saka, dagdag mo pa yung mga gumagamit ng mga tablet na yan at mga mobile na yan sa mga sosyalerang coffee shop. Tapos, nag-order pa sila ng mamahaling kape na puro naman whipped cream. Hello. Tapos, pagtugtog ng MP3 nila, ay lentian, ganyan, nagka-julog si mama pala. Kasi puro naman Justin Bieber ang pinapakinggan nyo. Ay, nako, at saka sana, kung pakinggan nyo na mabuti ang music nyo, ha, yung tunog-latan yung speaker, kung lakasan nyo pa yan, lalo yan magtutunog. Basag na pinggan kasi gawa yan sa China.
Clarification lang po, Principal Romero. Kung hindi basag yung speakers, okay lang ba to sa'yo?
Well, we have to define what is noise and what constitutes noise. Pero pag idagdag mo pa lahat yan, nag-iingay na nga sila doon sa coffee shop, tapos nandiyan pa yung barista na sumisigaw na, coffee frappuccino, June, abay talagang lenti, ang noise pollution na ginyaya.
Okay, sir, how can we possibly improve the situation?
Well, I think that every barangay should implement their anti-noise ordinance. At kung wala kayong ordinance na gano'n, di gumawa kayo mga lentiang kayo mga barangay official walang silbi. And besides, it really boils down to basic courtesy. If you can afford that expensive device, siguro naman maka-afford ka rin ng konting manners, leche. Thank you.
That's right. That was Principal Romero on the sins of coffee culture, capitalism, and the need to strengthen our local government unit code.
Exactly.
Maraming salamat, Principal Romero, ng Mababang Paaralan ng Barrio Kulang-Kulang sa Southern Luzon. That's our show for tonight, mga kapabrika. See you again next week for another episode of the NMF Weekly News Show. I'm Kenneth Kong.
And my name is Harmony Fernandez, wishing you all a happy week ahead.
Do remember these words before you go to bed. Tell me who your friends are, so I'll know them. What?
I thought you already paid the electricity bill.
Yeah, no, I did. Some of it, but not all of it, because I got a letter. It said like ignore last month and then go to the next month.